Hi everyone. I want to get right into this, but I want to start by saying that I have a lot of feelings and a lot of passion for different things, and I usually don't have the right words because it's very hard for me to find them. So I'm sorry that this was so delayed. It's not an excuse, but jumping into it. So unless you've been living under a rock, you know that there's this movement again for just basic human rights for Black people. The fact that we're even in a place right now where people have to demand equality, it's mind-boggling. It's absolutely mind-boggling because Black lives matter. Black lives are important, and we shouldn't even be having this conversation in 2020. It should just, everybody should be treated with respect and equality at all times, and nobody should be belittled or murdered or targeted or harassed because of the color of their skin. As a white passing person, I have a lot of privilege, and I recognize that and I understand, and I will never truly understand what it is like for a person of color. Even though I am technically Latinx, I don't look it and I benefit from privilege. I am a queer person, so on some level I can understand being discriminated against, but I will never understand the true feelings that people have of being afraid to just walk around on the streets at certain parts of the day or to call the police. And really, truly, what all this boils down to is that our government, one, doesn't care about us, and they clearly have not fixed the system that has been broken for a long time. Police need a huge reform. Law enforcement needs a giant reform. I came from a law enforcement upbringing. Both my parents were cops. I have other family that are cops. I have a lot of friends from back home who are in the police field. So I know that there are people on both sides of the fence of being good and being bad cops. I saw so many times when I was a kid, people getting away with things that they shouldn't have gotten away with. People who were abusive to their families. If you can't even take care of your family, and if you are going to be abusive to them in any way, you should not be holding a badge and a gun and the potential to change someone else's life. You should have no power over that. There should be so much more rigorous training for police officers, and there should be further background checks and more psych evaluations that actually go somewhere. There need to be more repercussions for police who do bad things, because once you do one thing, it spirals and it escalates and you do more. I've seen so many times where people should have been taken off the streets and away from the public because of the way that they treated them. There are so many police officers who are racist and are sexist, and when you couple race and sex together, there's even more problems. And it doesn't matter what the root of that racism is. It doesn't matter why somebody became the way that they were. It's unacceptable. Coming from a police officer background and being raised with cops, I know that there are a lot of cops who have the best of intentions getting into the police force, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And if you do not keep up with your duty and your job to protect and serve the people, then you should not be doing your job. You should be removed from it, and somebody else should do it who actually is going to do a good job and not kill people. So a lot of cops get this idea through their training and through the police academy that they are invincible and they can do whatever they want and that there's no repercussions. But our justice system exists for a reason, right? Like, we have the courts and we have judges and we have jury of your peers, and we have all of these things that are here to make sure that if you do something wrong, that the proper channels are followed so that you're punished. Police officers I think a lot of police officers think that they are the law, and I think a lot of them are taught that through the police academy and through their on-the-job training. They are the law, and the sole responsibility of the police is to make sure that people are following the law. They are not there to be judge, jury, and executioner. And there were so many people that I knew growing up that thought they were all three of those things, when we have the legal and justice system for a reason. Reform needs to happen, change needs to happen, and these people need to be told that they are not invincible and they can't just get away with whatever they want, because that is not what they are here for. Black people should feel safe to leave their home. People of color should feel safe to call the police if they need help. Nobody should be worried about getting murdered by the cops, because that is not what they're here for, and that's not what they're supposed to do. And the fact that this is happening in 2020 is unacceptable. And if you do not agree with that, and if you don't think that Black Lives Matter, and if you're an All Lives Matter person, or if you're a Blue Lives Matter person, I need you to unfollow me and go away and never come back, because I don't know how to tell you how to be a good person. That's something you need to learn on your own, and I'm not going to teach you that. You should have learned that by now. And there's no excuse for why people are treating other people unfairly because of the color of their skin. There's no reason why people are in a position of authority and power who are going to just murder people and get away with it. Because if one of us did it, if one of us that didn't have a badge killed somebody and sat on their throat until they stopped breathing, we would be in jail. So why are the cops getting away with it? That's not acceptable.